Hey everybody, Captain Eldra here. We're here with the second installment of the Not So Weekly Retro Challenge. We'll be talking about last month's results and taking a look at this week's challenge. All that after the break. Last month, Back in the Day Gamer hosted the inaugural week of the Not So Weekly Retro Challenge with Home Alone on the Super Nintendo, a very good Christmas game. And the results for that was, in last place, Back in the Day Gamer. Got to the last stage, but could not beat it. And in first, myself, Captain Algebra. So even though we've changed the name, the results aren't that much different. I'm still kicking Back in the Day Gamer's butt. But on to this week's challenge. One of my favorite Genesis games, probably my top 5 games of all time. A fantastic beat 'em up, Streets of Rage 2. So, this challenge will be who can beat the game with the fewest number of deaths on normal difficulty, starting with 3 lives. So when you start the game, just go in right away, don't have to go to options or anything, it should be all set up for you. One other stipulation, you may not use the A button, the special attack. Okay, you can use any other attacks, but not the special. If you're going to upload the whole video, that's great. If you're going to only edit it, please make sure any extra lives you gain and all deaths. So you just make sure, it's fair. And then just show the highlights. And again, the person with the fewest amount of deaths on the way to beating it will win. Okay, so you can use continues and whatever. And the tiebreaker will be to the person with the highest score. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. You have until January 21st, 2018 to get your video posted. So you have until the end of the day that day. Make sure you just post it in the comments below. And good luck.
So here we go with Streets of Rage 2. So this was my favorite beat 'em up of all time. I just played it all the time. But back then I was always playing on easy. It wasn't until recently that I started to just play on normal. I guess growing up I really didn't care about the difficulty of getting through normal or hard for modes. I just, cared about beating the game. But I used to always be max when I was a kid. I just loved how powerful he was, and every once in a while I'd be Skate or Axel. But yeah, so now I've gone to always being Axel. So here you go. I got my first extra life about halfway through first level. I love getting the metal pipe and just wrecking people with it. This is always a cool stage. I like how the music really fits the mood. In fact, the music in this entire game is really good. But it's cool you can break the tables and chairs and stuff. And I like how you get to the end and the bartender's just standing there washing glass and he runs out. It took me a while to realize as a kid that he was the same guy you end up fighting outside. So, Electra and those enemies, they get annoying later on in the game. They just get, they start to get more aggressive around level 4. So actually, up to this point, I had yet to be hit in this level. And right here is the only hit I take. Barbie gets that one punch on me. So, pretty annoyed with that, but oh well. So, I mean, this game's pretty easy. Like I was saying, in the first few levels, I mean, you can almost get through them without getting touched. Then level 4 or 5, they start to get a little more aggressive. Sometimes I worry about this part just because the guys against the wall, they tend to be a little more aggressive than the other enemies in the beginning of the game. But I handle it pretty well. And remember, you cannot use your special attacks with the A button, which really helps clear all of them out at once. Hate when they grab you from behind. That grand uppercut is probably my favorite move to use. Very, very useful against the bosses later on in the game. So this stage I always liked. I thought it was really cool walking on the construction and seeing the city in the background. I still remember as a kid, I never walked on the sections that were just the grate. And so until I got to this part, it's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And then I realized, nope, you can actually walk on it. For some reason, I just thought it was going to like fall out from under you or something. This is a very boring boss fight. I just get very annoyed with Jet. I mean, there's not a ton you can do to attack that I've ever really done, so I've always just used basically jump cuts. You can see I'm accidentally pressing down when doing the jump kick and missing Jet over and over again. But it's basically I do jump kicks and then maybe the grand uppercut, which I believe is how I finish her off, or him off. There you go. Barely been touched. Got an extra life at the end of the last level, forgot to mention that. It's up to 5, still 0 deaths. Stage 3, kind of boring. Not my favorite level, but I do love the arcade part. You know, can destroy the arcade machines. And these guys can't be all that bad. I mean, they're playing video games, right? Maybe there's misunderstood, got in with Mr. X, and couldn't get out. So that's a move. It's pretty useful. If they throw you, you can land on your feet. I think only once during my playthrough did it not work. There's actually a part later on that I get thrown. I get caught in a corner. I'm like thrown 4 times in a row. It actually ends up looking pretty cool. So we'll see that a little bit later. I think it was on the elevator of stage 7. I think before you fight the mechanical enemies. There you go, got another one up. I always liked the pirate stage. This section of the stage. The katana is probably my favorite weapon. Just love the sound effects of it. This part really pissed me off. This is probably the worst. First part I actually struggled with, which I shouldn't. Usually I can get past this guy without getting hit, but I just thought I'd actually hit him with a katana there and missed him. Then I ended up starting to get more worried about, is that Donovan? No, Brown. But end up taking care of business. I don't know how I don't get hit right here. Right there. I missed him, he missed me. Then you hit him, and he ends up going right. Doesn't make sense. Then, we get the turkey right for Zanza and take care of him pretty easily. He was a guy I used to really struggle with as a kid. But he's just aggressive, and he's not that bad anymore. So there you go. First 3 stages, no deaths. Feeling pretty confident. That, I don't know how I got hit there, but whatever. But this is a cool part of the level on the baseball field. So you see, this is probably the first level. Last level where I almost died against that mini boss. This is the first part I was starting to get worried that I was going to have a death. But luckily the cake was there, apple, whatever it is. It always looked like a fruit cake to me, but I think it's an apple. But that that blue one just kept hitting me with her whip and kicking me. Got an extra life, up to 8. There we go, got through that. This part, I'll show you the entire elevator section because I was pretty impressed with this. I actually get pretty close to losing a life here. But I do a lot of those throws that help knock enemies over. The thing I worry about most here is when those pirates drop down and they can attack. This guy love his name, Buy a Taco. Makes me want to go buy a taco. So you just can't let them get behind you. Because otherwise, even if you use your back punch, sometimes you can just get caught where they just keep punching you back and forth. Yeah, so between throws and the grand uppercut and the jump kicks, this part isn't that bad. See right there, it's like, oh crap, I'm getting caught. Fight through it. Get them all on one side. There we go. Just a few more guys. I think this is the last section. Ooh, thought I was going to get hit there. That would have ended it. So I knew if I could just get past this part without a death, you know, I should be able to beat the boss on a full bar of health. So there you go. I thought that was pretty impressive, getting through that without getting touched, or I guess without losing a life. But this part pissed me off. Usually he's much more aggressive, but he just kept moving up and down, acting really weird. I was waiting for him to charge so I could hit him with the grand uppercut. Then he does, and right as he was starting to go, I was actually moving over a little more to give myself more time. Then he does it again, and I mistimed the buttons. And then gets a couple hits on me. I'm like, okay, I got this. Then I just screw it up again. So there you go, my first death. End of stage 4. But then I took care of business after that. But not too happy. I should have gone a little longer without a death. Next stage, probably my least favorite stage in the game. I just hate the boss. Our-Bear is just a bitch to fight sometimes. There you go, got another life. And these stupid guys throwing their bombs. Of course, this is kind of helpful because sometimes it does hit the enemy. Take them out for you. You can see, you know, my health's almost gone again. That's one thing I really like that Streets of Rage did, you know, giving the enemies a health bar. I hate in beat-em-ups and other games where you don't know how much you have to hit an opponent to kill them. I wish you could attack those guys. They just get kind of annoying. So here we go. Gotta be careful here because if you get too far to the right, you have to fight Our-Bear and Balloon at the same time. So I try to keep Balloon isolated first, so I can just take care of him. And so I did that. And then Our-Bear. So it hits me right away. It's like, I knew I had to get that turkey fast, because if he would have hit me before I got it, I was done. But luckily I got the katana, which is helpful. But I don't do a great job with it. I end up losing it. But still haven't died. And that grand uppercut is very useful against him. And I'm not ashamed that I basically kept using one move against the bosses. Hey, if it works. So there we go. Our-Bear without a death against him, which is pretty rare for me. But this is probably just I think the third time I've gone through on normal in this game. So I'm pretty happy with one death so far. Stage 6 is pretty cool. I like walking along the beach. Then I got to, doing just fine till I got to these guys, and they just kicked my ass. So I was getting pretty pissed at this point. But I ended up making it through. Just get rid of one of them, and then two's much more easy to fend off. The music in this game, though, is just fantastic. Every single level's got good music. So then we get to the boss. Stealth is so annoying. Small health bar, but it's tough to focus on stealth since Souther is so aggressive. But if you kill Souther first, then stealth automatically dies, so I just try to focus on Souther, not worry about stealth. And there we go. Got them both. So with 8 lives, I think I get another one soon. Yep, there it is. And in this game, you the numbers don't go above 9, but you can get more extra lives. So you'll see that coming up. This conveyor part section can get kind of annoying sometimes, but it's not too bad. Definitely try to isolate a lot of people. Don't want to go too far to the right and get the ninja attacking me at the same time as her. That was pissed I walked into. I knew she was going to do it too. There we go. So that's actually 10 lives now, even though it still says 9. So now the elevator section. This part pissed me off. I was doing fine. Then I got caught in the corner and he picked you up, and there's death too. Very unhappy. But there you go. Take care of them and keep going, keeping that turkey there, just in case I need. Here's that section. Look at that, thrown 4 times in a row. But the guy is taking out his partners, and then I just beast mode out of there. That was probably my favorite section of this playthrough. And dealing with Soya. Those enemies aren't really tough at all, except for when they throw their knife at times. But just makes it a little bit tougher dealing with the big guy too. I'm surprised they don't breathe fire more when you get onto higher levels. I don't think once during this playthrough they ever used their fire breath on you. At this point I was like, yep, I'm gonna take care of you with your own medicine. Just throw some knives at you. One more. I really like this boss fight. I love the sound effect. There you go, when you get hit. That's awesome. Even though it can get annoying at times. But these guys aren't that bad, other than just jumping around, and sometimes it takes a while to actually get close enough to hit them. I forgot sometimes they blow up before you actually get a chance to fully kill them. I'd say this is probably one of the easier boss fights, especially towards the end of the game. You know, you'd think it'd be a little tougher. There we go. Still 2 deaths. Got another extra life. Going to the final stage. Only 2 deaths. One other big pet peeve of beat-em-ups: when boss enemies end up becoming like regular enemies that you see more often. Like, who wants to fight R-Bear again? Or I guess this one's Bear Jr. And having to do a boss rush, have to fight every single boss all over again. Ugh. 3 times in a row. So I guys want to get that apple. There we go. One more and he's done. Ugh. There we go. And now the elevator section. On the way up to Mr. X. That damn pirate. So this part I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be able to get through, like the elevator section earlier in the game on after the baseball diamond. I figured I'd end up dying, especially there was no turkey between here and then. I don't remember. Yeah, he takes me out with a kick. 3rd death. Still doing pretty good. This time I do much better against this guy. Of course, he's just much more aggressive and just keeps running. Makes it much easier. Here we go. So I skipped past the part with the lackeys. So right to Shiva. This is probably the hardest boss fight, just as Shiva's so aggressive, and so many good tough moves. You can't really counter him too easily, and they counter almost every one of your moves. Like there, I mean, I don't know how I missed, but usually, you know, it's at least one death for sure against Shiva, but I think I make it past. Do I get... I can't remember if I die once or not. Yep. Died once on them. Not bad. Up to 4 deaths. Still feeling pretty good, because Mr. X really isn't that bad. There we go. Other than when he shoots his gun. And he almost always does that on jump kicks. But I try to use a lot of throws, you know, use his lackeys to his disadvantage. Oh, he moved just out of the way there. Damn machine gun. Getting close to losing another death, but I got him close. And that damn machine gun again, as I was gonna throw the guy into him. Oh, so mad I missed him there. And I get caught, and there's a 5th death. But I do like how I finish him off. Nice throw. And he's done. So 5 deaths. I'm okay with that. It's not great. I'm sure it's definitely beatable. But hey, as long as I take out Back in the Day Gamer, I'm not too upset. So once again, you have until January 21st, the end of the day, to get your video in. Just post it in the comments below. And then when Back in the Day Gamer hosts in February, you'll have the results. So there you go, 5 deaths, and then for tiebreaker, 694,650 points. Pretty good. So thanks for watching. This is Captain Algebra signing off.